Hello and welcome to Your Life Satori. I'm Damien,
And I'm Neil.
and today we're going to talk about a very important topic that's close to our chest: opening your heart.
For me, it's about letting life in, allowing love to flow and to feel.
That's very succinct. I'd say opening your heart means a lot of things, but from, I guess, a scientific point of view, more scientific point of view, I'd say opening your heart is allowing yourself to connect to other people. And it only happens when you feel safe. Because when we're in a kind of fight or flight mode, we tend to close ourselves off, and that inadvertently closes our connections with other people as well.
I think a lot of people are living in fight or flight mode, in a state of scarcity. And according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, people can't look after the higher needs of connection and love when they're in survival mode. So people are struggling to just get by, and they're ignoring the things that will allow them to open their heart and to connect with themselves.
Yeah, I mean, you stole my answer basically. I'd say it's hard to open your heart because we live in a world where there's a lot of dangers or threats, and whenever you feel threatened, that could be simply like someone not liking your post or saying commenting, saying something nasty to you, and that could kind of shut yourself off. Or someone, a colleague. Just that we live in a world that's filled with a lot of perceived threats, and when we have perceived threats, we tend to close ourselves off, and it's really hard. Once your heart is closed, it's very hard to open again, because it's like we need to change the environment around ourselves to feel safe enough to open in the first place.
A lot of it would be to do with disappointment or betrayal in terms of love. I think we live in a hyper-connected world where we think we have an abundance of love options, and then because of the abundance of choice, people also, there's a paradox of choice where people fail to choose, or they don't like to commit. And
it's like FOMO, right?
It is, yeah, definitely a FOMO area, and people keep swiping. Even once you've captured, it's like capturing a Pokemon. Once you've captured someone on Tinder, they're already there, and you're always looking for new likes, a dopamine hit, and people are failing to feel connected. They're lacking community, they're lacking close connections, and I think that's a big reason why people are struggling to open their heart.
I'd say one of the main reasons why people find it hard to open their hearts is most likely due to their upbringing. So for me personally, I found that I only recently discovered that love was conditional. So that I had to meet a certain standard or act a certain way, get certain grades to be able to receive love. So when I wasn't acting that way, then I didn't feel love. So having these kind of attachment styles or these conditions in which love was defined, it makes it harder to open your heart, because when you don't know what needs to be met, or you have these arbitrary standards about what needs to be met to receive love, it's harder to open to that.
I see it all the time. I see, and I've done it myself. I numb myself. I have numbed myself in terms of pursuing things that distract me from feeling emotions. Things like watching way too much TV, binge eating, or becoming obsessed with anything and dedicating too much time to a particular thing that takes you away from feeling and sitting with your emotions.
I guess probably the most obvious way that a closed heart is manifested or kind of shows itself is probably from just your body language. Like someone, for instance, are you a hugger or handshaker? That's a simple one, because like hugging someone literally is putting your heart to their heart. So someone that kind of avoids hugging or gives you those Christian side hugs, probably not as open, just generalizing, of course. But for me personally, I found that I tend to have tighter shoulders, and my back was rounded a little bit. I slouched a bit. So that kind of was literally trying to protect my heart, because you're trying to, like, it's precious and I don't want to give it to anyone, So some body language cues can signal that your heart is closed. It's like if I was going like that the whole time. That's literally a defensive body language, which is trying to protect my vital organs because your heart is extremely vital. So that's one way to kind of tell.
For me, I was, as I mentioned before, numbing myself with TV, be it like food, even going to the gym and being obsessed about that was a way to not feel. And I realized I was becoming so out of touch with my emotions and my relationships. I was taking them for granted, the relationships with my family and friends, that fortunately I got to a point where my career kind of like shifted, and it allowed more space for me to explore my connections and what I valued. And what I truly valued was love and connection. And fortunately, the people who loved me and supported me was still there, waiting for me like the prodigal son, when I was ready to open my heart. And I'm so grateful for them.
For me, I think it was loneliness, because when you close your heart, you're basically disconnecting yourself from, your potential tribes or society, because you're not connecting with others, and people generally don't like to connect with people that are disconnected or that they're closed off. Like if when someone has like defensive or closed off body language, you feel like they're a bit standoffish. So for me, I found that I felt lonely, but I was kind of numbing, I was kind of numbing myself. I was chasing short-term pleasures, trying to hook up with people, and I thought that was a way of kind of meeting that need. But that's not true connection, because that's kind of like pleasure seeking rather than connection seeking. So realizing that I was actually lonely, and I was telling myself, no, I'm fine with being a lone wolf, it's cool. But secretly sabotaging myself, not like in a way that if you're doing other things to try to meet that need.
I think for me, I love affirmations. Words affirmation is one of my top love languages, and I simply place my palm on my heart and say, my heart is safe, my path is clear, and love flows to me with ease.
Okay, so a simple kind of visualization or kind of little Jedi mind trick you can play on yourself is just imagine you're trying to hug people with your heart. I know it sounds a bit stupid, but like you literally trying to present your heart to people, So when you meet people, you might like, oh, I want to show you my heart, Kind of like that literal kind of just trying to show someone is opening my chest up, because I'm like, oh, I'm trying to connect. Obviously, don't do it like go like that, walking like that. It seems a bit weird, but just the kind of intention that you're trying to put your heart forward will help you open your heart.
For me, it would be, what would happen if I let love in?
Would I be fulfilled if I died alone? Dark.
From a spiritual point of view, I feel like life flows with you. Synchronicities happen, the right opportunities and doors appear, the right people appear to support you on your journey, and you just feel a sense of peace and calm and connectedness that you haven't felt before. Connected in connection to the universe, in connection with yourself and with everything around you.
That's like my answer. I'd say, so from, I guess, a physiological point of view, when your heart is open, you put yourself in a more parasympathetic state where you feel safe, where you feel calm, and you feel connected with your body rather than being in the fight or flight state. And you can imagine when you're more open, more social, more safe, that the rest of your life, whether that's your relationships, your career, will benefit because you're more embodied and more connected rather than being defensive and argumentative and, all those kind of negative emotions. So you feel more positive emotions overall, which benefits the rest of your life.
Because people don't believe they're worthy of love. I believed that for so long, that I was not worthy of love. I found it easy to give but not receive help. It's always easier to give help, I find. But now, more days, I'm saying yes to people willing to help. I'm more open to that, and I think you would need to allow people. People want to help you. It's not just a gift for yourself; it's a gift for them. They want to give, and in that way, just say yes to receiving help and love.
Yeah, very similar answer to Neil as always. I'd say my more kind of a different answer is more that I think ego stops us from connecting. And when we have an ego, whether that's saying that, oh, I'm independent, I don't need anyone's help, you're subconsciously or kind of presupposing that we don't need that connection, so we don't need to connect with other people because we feel that we don't need to receive, because like a connection or relationship is about giving and receiving. It's not just about giving. And when you give, it's easy to give because you kind of put yourself in like as a savior or the in a high position because you're able to help someone. But receiving requires a bit of humility as well.
I like the Brené Brown analogy of when people earn your trust, that's the amount of trust you should place in them as well. So think of a big glass jar, and every time someone does something that builds trust and connection, you put a marble in there, and you can see the marble grow, and that's how much investment that you should invest back in them.
Do you have marble jars of us?
It's all
on a spreadsheet.
It's an analogy, but yeah. I think that my jars with you guys are full. So it's right. Like it's bursting at the seams. I think there's probably too much. I probably overshare, and but I'm really grateful. That's a good way to view it. Is that you don't just share your story with everyone. I think there are times when you need to be mindful and have discernment, and it's about knowing how much people have earned that trust and respect.
Yeah, I like that answer. That's a very scientific answer. Marbles, kind of counting marbles. I'd say it's a feeling, like just you have a gut feeling, trusting your gut. I think that's
sounds very spiritual.
I'm a spiritual guy now. I think trusting your gut. Most of the time, there are psychopaths out there that are very good at manipulating, pulling our strings to make us feel safe and connected and all that. So be careful of that. But I think over time, people's true colors show, and then but if you have that gut feeling from instinct from the onset, it's like there is something there, and then it's a matter of time if it's that feeling is continuous, like as in you always get that safe, warm feeling, then you're on the right track. But once you get that, that your spider senses are tingling, then I would reconsider that relationship.
I think living your life with an open heart is energizing. There are times when you're going to get hurt, but it's a practice of staying open. Michael Singer talks about it a lot in Untethered Soul. He talks about how do you stay living in a state of grace and heart open, because life's going to test you. It's going to make you close your heart. And for me, living a life without an open heart is a life not well lived. And I have grown so much because I've stayed open. I might have been hurt a little bit as well, but I'd rather be hurt a little bit or hurt than not, or be numb to life. So stay open, despite all the challenges that we face.
I'd say my heart would say, treat each heartbreak as a rep. And the more reps you do, the stronger you become. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed our insights, and make sure you like, subscribe, and share. It's really good karma, and hope to see you in the next one.